Hello there, and welcome to my third individual project for Computer Science 302. My name is Jacques Troussard, and I will be trying to answer the question, is airline software worse than the in-flight meal? While advancements in technology have allowed for certain easing in travel and commuting through the use of teleconferencing and work-from-home schedules, air travel remains a vital part of the U.S. economy. As the airline industry adopts more technology and the number of passengers increase, computer systems start being more vital. Due to the highly competitive nature of the industry, some airlines have been slow to embrace this new technology as it costs more money. And some have even been reluctant to upgrade their existing software systems. Here are only a few notable glitches and their impacts. One of the first cases of software interrupting regular airline operations happened to Spirit Airlines in early 2001 when the company activated their new booking system. The resulting canceled flights spanning from the East Coast to the Midwest left thousands stranded. Frustrations grew so bad that at one point NYPD was called into LaGuardia Airport in order to calm an unruly crowd of disgruntled passengers. The fault was eventually traced to sloppy programming. An overflow of a 16-bit pointer crashed Delta Airline Systems Christmas weekend of 2004, obviously disrupting travel for many thousands of people. On October of 2015, a passenger check-in systems crash caused massive outages for the United States' busiest domestic airline, Southwest. They provided very little information regarding the issues, which resulted in almost a quarter of their flights being grounded. Over 150,000 passengers were directly affected by the passenger systems going down. It was later revealed that outdated software from the 1980s was responsible for the meltdown. Not even a year later, a router failure forced the cancellation of about 2,000 flights and the delay of about 7,000 more flights over the course of a few days. And finally, in a reveal of the most daunting and common cause of software crashes was put on display in July of 2016, when United Continental Airlines grounded all of its flights worldwide for 2 hours, citing software integration problems stemming from their recent merger. So what is the ethical controversy here? Well, even 0.01% failure rates result in massive losses for both the company and its passengers. Everything from baggage checking to airplane guidance systems require regular, ethically minded reviews to keep up with this growing industry. The chaos which ensues from even small errors can be measured in frustration, lost revenue, and sometimes even lives. While the utilitarian analysis will seem pretty simple for this scenario, I chose it for a very specific reason. I wanted to contrast it with my past analyses. In previous scenarios, where I used the utilitarian framework, I was commonly bringing up the lesser obvious stockholders in this situation. Actual stockholders, sometimes it was the company's bottom line, but I was attempting to balance my approach so that it would be more difficult to fully argue the utilitarian viewpoint. To balance the body count, so to speak. However, in this situation, it's very clear that it's very easy to make an ethical choice with this framework. Spending vast sums of money to keep company systems modern and redundant will eventually lead to very efficient airlines which avoid catastrophic events such as system failures, which lead to massive losses of revenue, passenger dissatisfaction, and the tarnishing of brand name. This scenario, through the viewpoint of social contract theory, we must observe its two main tenets. First, there must be guarantees that people will not harm one another. Generally speaking, when passenger or baggage systems fail, this rarely leads to people being physically harmed or killed. Yet it could be argued that this massive inconvenience of delays and other pains associated with airline travel can actually be quantified harm. Secondly, people must also be able to rely on one another to keep their agreements. And here we have airlines, which are providing airfare in exchange for one's money. There needs to be a reasonable expectations that they will perform these services safely and efficiently. If airlines continue to have computer glitches, which cause travel disruptions for thousands of people, it starts to become unethical. Not only are the passengers losing faith in the services, but this can directly affect stock prices, people trying to go about their businesses, and lead to airlines having to make even more questionable decisions to remain in business. Also, as before John and air travel becomes more normalized, it is becoming less and less of a privilege to fly, and more of a necessity. Maybe even one day it can be considered a right. This importance comes with a certain amount of ethical consequences when the agreements are not fulfilled. In conclusion, we must hold the airline industry to a certain standard which does not allow for sloppy mergers or for airlines to operate with systems designed in the 1980s. Come on. The societal, economic, and ethical impacts of software failures in the airline industry have now reached a level which requires very careful considerations. No longer can software failures in this industry just be called glitches. Their impacts are far too vast and extremely consequential. I'd like to thank everybody for listening to my presentation. The following slides contain my sources.